Department of Corrections and Community Supervision.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
An incarcerated use of institutional telephones constitutes consent, and your calls may be provided to law enforcement agencies.
To accept this free call, press 1.
Preventing suicide is important. If you have concerns during this call, please contact the individual's facility to communicate with them.
Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Yeah, we're good. I just want to let everybody know that they just like shut down our phone call. They cut off our phone call because I'm talking about things that are going on. But
No problem. I totally understand, brother. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, but things have been at a standstill. There's a lot of a lot of green dots, a lot of red dots, and it's just been real. Atmosphere's been real shitty in here. It's been real shitty. Part of my language has been really bad.
Yeah.
And it just sucks.
Sometimes just acknowledging a person and, feeling seen feels great. And prison is a place that it's almost designed to make you not seen.
I've been incarcerated wrongly since 2000 and in the county jail. I was wrongly convicted twice. I am a modern day slave based upon my activism.
Like right now, we're in correctional facility, and I'm in my cell with a scarf and a hat on, and we've been complaining about the freezing cold that's in it. There's no heat in this building.
Welcome to Dreaming Beyond the Bars, a narrative podcast grounded and dedicated to centering the voices of those directly impacted by incarceration. My name is Andrea.
My name is Farhan.
My name is Blair.
My name is Jeffrey.
And we are the 2026 Beyond the Bars Fellows.
When we first heard this year's theme, Rooted In, we kept coming back to the idea that roots are not always visible.
Roots exist beneath the surface. They hold memories, they carry history, they survive pressure.
And often, the most important roots are the ones we don't see.
So we ask ourselves, what are we rooted in?
We're rooted in lived experience, in survival, in care, in resistance.
And we're rooted in voices that are too often buried.
That is why we chose to create this platform.
Because listening requires something different from us. It asks us to slow down, to sit with what we hear,
to witness.
Our hope for this audio experience is to bring forward the voices of currently and formerly incarcerated individuals.
And of families whose lives have been shaped by the system. Voices that are too often unheard, yet foundational to understanding harm, survival, resistance, and care.
Because what is unseen still sustains us.
And what is rooted still grows. Here is what they shared with us.
We begin with the realities of everyday life inside.
Became like a war zone. The strike, the Wildcat strike had begun, I want to say, in February of 2025.
After the brutal murder of Robert Brooks, Messiah Nawati, and the mysterious deaths of over 150 people, it's no coincidence that when those officers that brutally killed Mr. Brooks, which was caught on video, were to be indicted, that all of the 13,000 correction officers went on strike. So because of that, the National Guard has been deployed in the prisons.
You never know what's going to happen. I mean, they're not running any programs. They're short on staff. You have the National Guards they're still here, but it's not like they're operating as officers. They're just operating as extra bodies. So they're just around to observe and watch and report. But the atmosphere is pretty it's almost like at a standstill. You know, they're not trying to help rehabilitate anybody.
It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
So we have to wait outside. I went last weekend. It was -6 degrees at 7 a.m. And I had to wait outside until 9 a.m. just to sit in line. And I was freezing. But the officers won't even allow us inside to go to the bathroom.
It's been freezing outside. And people have unfortunately been dying in the cold.
Like right now, we're in a correctional facility, and I'm in my cell with a scarf and a hat on, and we've been complaining about the freezing cold that's in it. There's no heat in this building.
But the impact of incarceration extends beyond the prison walls.
The families are the collateral damage of the prison system, and we do our time on the outside while our loved ones are inside.
So my feeling is going to see my father in prison, especially more recently. I think it always felt tense. There was always like a feeling like Big Brother, like there was a watchful eye looking over us. I remember one time he was peering over the line to look at the vending machines, and one of the guards just yelled at him like something crazy, and he couldn't say nothing. And you know, as a kid seeing that, you put your father on a pedestal, and then you see somebody talk to him down like that, that's not really a good feeling. Like, I always kind of felt like it was unfair, and it was always stressful, especially with COVID. Now you have to take the COVID test. They had us outside in the cold, and I just felt like they never really considered the family or their experience when you go to visit these people.
Shortly after COVID, during the time when I went to visit my husband, who was incarcerated, the atmosphere was tense and stressful at times. Although I was happy to visit him, but the whole process of making it to the visitation room or our family weekend visit was so nerve-wracking. I had to travel about 10 hours away, so the thought of not passing my COVID test always made me feel on edge, because if I didn't pass, then that would mean I couldn't go back to see my husband, and my flight was already booked out like 2 days away.
My husband, luckily he's not too far from me. He's about 3 hours from me on Long Island. And if I'm not there by 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm not getting in to be processed until after the count, which would be around 1 o'clock. And it's hard for me to go in for visits because I waitress is my second job on the weekends, and that's when I make my money. So having to take off to go visit my husband is not only costing me money, transportation, tolls, and visiting room food, but also missing out on work.
And yet, despite these conditions, people continue to build, to care, and to find ways to keep going.
So while I was incarcerated, a place like would often let you know that you were all you got. You and the people around you were all you got.
The biggest milestone I think that I completed since I've been home was finishing my senior thesis. I say that because I feel that getting a job and doing the schoolwork will be a big challenge for me. So then I was able to get a fellowship, which allowed me to finish the thesis, get paid, and establish myself as an artist. And that opened a lot of doors for me to be able to have art shows at different colleges. So I feel like I'm in a great place right now. I'm pursuing a graduate degree, MFA, a Master in Fine Art. So I feel everything is a blessing. And I feel that the way I carry myself was a positive impact on other people. But I've always tried my best to help people in areas that they needed help in, whatever it was, whether it was writing legal letters, regular letters, in whatever areas people asked me for help. If I could help them, I would do it. And I think in that way, I advocated for myself, and in my behavior, hopefully I advocated for other incarcerated people so that people could see that we're not all the label and the stigma that society put on us, that we're really humane and we know how to treat each other and pull for each other.
I never had a difficult time building solidarity in prison, just because we were all in the struggle. You know, when you're hungry, when you're cold, when you're scared, a lot of the colors, the affiliations, a lot of that stuff goes, I mean, in my experience, just goes out the window. And you're just there for each other. You realize that, you know, it might be you and another person up against a very uncaring and a very powerful, all-powerful system. And, you know, I never really experienced someone who said, hey, you know, I won't work with this, or I won't, you know, hang out with this person because he's that, you know, or that. And so the building of solidarity was kind of, it was just gradual, and it would often be small kindnesses.
My husband, right before COVID, he was issued a tablet, and it gave me a sense of hope in a way, because we had another way of communicating with each other instead of relying on the telephone calls that were timed. And they were also had certain times of the day when he could call me. So that tablet was a very, very good tool for us to be able to send emails, messages, pictures. So that just kind of made it almost as if we were texting.
With me, I've been out for 32 years, and I'm an organizer. All I do is teach. That's what I've done every jail I've been in. So I run transitional services. So I try to make sure the guys who are not on the call-outs, I get them down there so I can help them take care of their things and get the resources they need. Also, there's some other old-timers like me with the same attitude and who have that instinct to want to teach and be role models, have a positive impact on the guys coming in, especially the young guys, so that they could get what they need and have the tools to make sure they never come back in.
I'd say continuing to cultivate my, you know, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness. You know, I've just been a lot of exercise, personal reading, and just you know, staying in touch with God, the Most High, and trying to be the best version of myself that I could be.
I don't just count the days, I make the days count. You are just a great person inside and out, and let you know how much you really, really, really mean to be on the outside, because love is not what it says, it's what it does. And one thing, again, that Bad Bunny said last night, he said something that Martin Luther King said: hate cannot destroy hate. Only love can destroy hate. Thank you. God bless you all. And I'm wishing you the very best day of your life.
The caller has hung up.
What you have heard today is only part of the story.
Too often, public narratives about incarceration are shaped by fear, distance, and deficit.
This podcast hopes to do something different, to share real stories that highlight the ways people continue to resist, care for one another, organize, and imagine beyond the bars.
With that, we invite you to join us in dreaming together. This is Dreaming Beyond the Bars.